Okay, welcome to the video. SIG Guy here. Do you have a hard time rotating your takedown lever, or is it just difficult to rotate in one of your SIG Sauer pistols? Whether it's a 365, a 320, or one of the classic series pistols? Did you just do an upgrade like a guide rod and now it turns a little bit harder than normal? Well, if so, I got just the tool for you. Let's get started. SIG Guy, why do I need a takedown lever assist tool to rotate my takedown lever? I don't have any problems. Well, Internet Tough Guy, I am so glad that you asked that question. I would love to have Alex Jones do that bit right there. That'd be awesome. Anyway, so I hear it all the time, both sides. It's ridiculous sometimes, but so physically on our takedown levers, some of these takedown levers, as you guys know, if you're watching this video, obviously you know, there's not a whole lot of real estate on these things to apply pressure to. So some of them are very thin, like our 321, okay? And they just rotate hard. So for those of you that don't know, when your takedown lever is inside your grip and your pistol's assembled, your guide rod and that guide rod spring are pushing right against this takedown lever, okay? So if you got a real heavy spring in there, some of these guide rods have 3 springs, some have 2, some will have 1 huge, massive, heavy spring. All that force is being pushed against your takedown lever. So in order to rotate that takedown lever, you have to overcome all that force so it can get around this leading edge here and rotate. So sometimes you need some leverage so you're able to do that. Some guide rods that you put in, not with the same spring and everything, just a different guide rod. The button on the end of that guide rod that goes up against your takedown lever, the manufacturer just didn't get it correct to where it does rotate harder because the contour of that button isn't the same as or better than the factory. So I've heard that quite a bit actually. So that's another reason. So some people put guide rods and springs in their pistol. They rack the slide and they get it all put together, and then they go to take it apart and they can't take it apart. And they're like, what's going on? Well, it's because that button wasn't designed very well. That interacts with your takedown lever. So those need extra oomph to get those things to rotate. So yeah, there's many different reasons. The physical characteristics of the lever, the upgrades that you put in it, and then there's always the hand strength. I mean, I had a 2A community member message weeks ago saying she was disabled. She had a disability, and she was an avid 2A enthusiast. She loves to go shooting all the time and everything. And the only thing that she hated is when she had to come home to clean her firearms. She always had a hard time, tearing them down because she couldn't rotate the takedown lever on some of them or whatnot. So that is exactly the people that I want to help. Okay, not the Internet Tough Guy. I don't give a shit what he needs because he's got it all anyway. It's people like that because I am a huge, and everybody knows this, I am all for you disassembling, cleaning, reassembling, maintaining. I was in the military, so I know there's those guys that never take apart their gun because it never needs to be clean. Like I said, I hear it all. But being the way I am, OCD, prior military, it's always take care of your tools. I'm a mechanic. Take care of all your tools, and they'll take care of you. Okay, so I want everybody to be able to do that if they choose to do so. So something as simple as our takedown lever not being able to rotate, well, you ain't going to be able to do anything if you can't get past that step. So the takedown lever assist tool, put a lot of time into designing that for that specific task. What is the takedown lever assist tool? Again, another question I'm very glad that you asked. Basically, it's just 2 pieces that come in one kit. It is unique to each takedown lever that you have. Okay, so this one's for the 365 SIG, 365 SIG, 365 SIG. There is the Armory Craft 365 one, which, as you can see, is shaped differently than the factory one. Okay, I did try to do a kind of a universal one for the 365, and like, say for example, this one would slip around on the SIG one. This is this is the AC one, and then the SIG one would slip around on the AC one because it was shaped differently. Okay, so when you buy a kit, it comes with a handle, comes with a socket. They're used together. If you need another kit, it's going to come with another handle, another socket. You're not saving a whole lot of money by just, buying the sockets, because they'd probably charge you $1 less without the handle, because realistically, this doesn't really cost much to print. Okay, so logistically on the website, it was a nightmare trying to get a way for the website to cooperate with the way I wanted it to work for you guys. It was not an easy ordering, and it was a confusing ordering process, and I didn't want people confused. So cut through all that stuff, make it simple, one per takedown lever. That's just the way it is. Okay, so on our takedown socket here, it is a taper design, the hex. It's tapered inside here. You can put the handle wherever you want. Okay, I usually put it like the 5 o'clock position. The SIG guy, straight up and down like that. There is an arrow on the top as well. So anyway, when we put that handle on there, you can kind of press it onto there, and then it'll stay right on our socket. Okay, push in on the center, lift up on the wrench if you want to disassemble it, put it in a different position, whatever you want to do. Okay, so that's that. That's the tool itself. Like I said, we got many different ones here. This is the AC, the second style takedown lever they have for the 320. This is their first style, the sport takedown lever. You can see how it looks exactly like the takedown lever itself. We have the 22X, so their classic series sport takedown lever. And I'm really was upset that they didn't use the same profile for all their takedown levers, which would have made my job a lot easier. But the 229 Armory Craft, their second, the Type 2. Okay, again, uniquely shaped for that one. I do have a 226 one coming. I don't have a 226 lever in stock, so that's why I can't make the socket yet. And that's why they're out of stock on the website currently. 320 SIG. Okay, that one's for that one. And then we have the 22X SIG. So your regular classics, that one's a very thin takedown lever. This does grab onto it. It's not as good as all the other ones, but it does give you a little extra leverage there. There's just not a whole lot of that takedown lever to grab onto. And I don't really know of any people that's really had problems rotating the 22X ones anyway. But and then, like I said, the 365 one. I do have a Go Guns one as well. I don't have any made up here, but we have the Go Guns. And if there's other takedown levers that you guys want, a takedown lever assist tool made for, send me an email. We'll see if we can get something made for your specific takedown lever. Well, how does it work, SIG guy? Well, I'm very glad you asked that question. Let me demonstrate. Before we work on any firearms, though, we're going to make sure they're clear and safe firearms. And all these firearms are clear and safe, but for video purposes on this one, I'll demonstrate. Make sure there's no round in the chamber. Physically and visually check, make sure there's no round in the chamber. No magazines, okay, because you can't rotate your takedown levers anyway if there's a magazine in it. Check our breech face, look away, do the same thing again. Chamber, magazine, breech face. This is a clear and safe firearm. Okay, so again, we'll walk our slides to the rear, and then we're just gonna, on some of these cavities, they go straight through to the other side. Some of them kind of stop in the center here. Okay, and I did that for a specific reason. So the smaller ones where you can get most of that lever covered up, I did it like this. So you can basically put it on there and then just slide it till it stops. And then we'll push in on the takedown lever assist tool and rotate it just like that. Okay, so that's going to give us plenty of leverage to rotate that takedown lever. So again, make sure you're pushing in. You have to push in because these are shaped like ramps. Okay, all the edges are angled like a ramp. So if you're not holding it tight, it's just going to slip off. So you got to push it in there, push it against the firearm, and then rotate it just like that. Okay, so there's our 365. I do have a Go Guns. This is one of the prototypes, different filament color, but you can see that's a pretty gnarly looking socket there. This is actually one of the ones I have a more difficult time turning just because it is so tapered and there's not a whole lot of real estate on there. But you can see that fits right around there. It's really big, so it goes out the back side. But we'll use that to rotate that takedown lever. Okay. Oops. Rotate that back. We got a factory SIG M18, M17, 320. Put our socket on there about 5 o'clock. Lock our slide to the rear. Okay. That one fits perfectly around the SIG one. Same thing. Push in, rotate. Easy peasy. And then this is my Cool Fire Trainer practice firearm. So we got the Armory Craft type. I'm not going to lock this one to the rear because it's a pain in the ass because of their guide rod in here. It's if anybody of you guys have a Cool Fire Trainer setup, you know what I'm talking about. But I'll just demonstrate. This is the Armory Craft Type 2. Fits over there nice and perfectly. If my slide was locked to the rear, I can lock my slide to the rear, but I'm not going to rotate the takedown lever. So it fits over there perfectly, and you just kind of use that to rotate your takedown lever. Okay. So, like I said, there's a unique shape for all the different style takedown levers. So just if you got 2 or 3 different SIGs, you're going to have to buy 2 or 3 different kits. But it fits all of them great, and it makes it so much easier to rotate those takedown levers. All right, so let's just talk about durability and practicality, basically, because I hear this stuff all the time, especially with some of the 3D printed stuff, okay? This stuff is 3D printed, okay? It's not metal. It's plastic. It's got carbon fiber in it and everything, but it is still a plastic material. It has its limitations, okay? So when I was designing this, when I first made, I think it was the 321 was the first one I did. Basically what I would do is I would take my takedown lever, if I can find it here. I would take a takedown lever, put a pair of vice grips around it, put it in my vise, and then I would take the socket itself, put it on the takedown lever, put a inch-pound torque wrench on it, and just keep turning until something broke, okay? So generally on the 321, it was this edge here. If this was centered, this edge here would, snap off because this is where all the force is on this edge over here. So basically, as you can see, I kind of moved the center of it down because there is no force on this edge. Kind of beefed up this edge. And the data on the website, that was actually old numbers, 30 inch-pounds up to 63 inch-pounds. I got this one up to 80 inch-pounds before it actually broke. Just to put it in perspective so people know, it's less than 1 inch-pound to rotate your takedown lever on a properly functioning factory takedown lever, okay? It wouldn't even register on I got a digital torque wrench. It would not even register 1 inch-pound to rotate any of the takedown levers in any of my SIGs. Regardless if it's a factory takedown lever or not one of them registered an inch-pound, okay? So if this will last minimum 30 inch-pounds up to 80 inch-pounds, it is more than rugged enough to rotate a normally operating takedown lever, okay? Because I hear this stuff all the time, even in the mechanic world. I mean, you got a wrench and a guy wants to put a 10-foot breaker bar on it, and then he wonders why the wrench broke, because the wrench wasn't designed to put a 10-foot breaker bar on, okay? So neither is this stuff. Normal hand tool, rotating your takedown lever, pushing in on it, rotating it, should do the job. If it fails, there's something going on inside your firearm. Either the guide rod isn't properly interacting with your takedown lever, or some other upgrade you did, it is causing that to rotate a lot harder than it's supposed to, okay? So this isn't a fix for something that's broken inside of here. That's not what this is. This is to help you rotate a normally functioning takedown lever, okay, for those people that don't have the hand strength to do so. And there you have it. That is the takedown lever assist tool, okay? Anything I can do to make things easier for people, like I said, I'm all about it. We do have many other toolkits to address a lot of the areas that are difficult. And I know in the videos I make it look so easy, but to be honest with you, even some of the stuff in the videos, I do it 3 or 4 or 5 times because it just wasn't cooperating, and I look like an idiot on camera doing it. So it does look easy on video, but not everything is even as easy for me, okay? And to give you an example, so just removing our strikers from our slides in our 365s, that is a pain in the ass. I mean, I had a friend over here, and I sold him a bunch of upgrades, and I was assembling it for him. And even I mean, I've done the striker a million times, still fumble trying to get that damn housing to unlock to get the back plate off, okay? So that's why this tool here came out with that. It's a simple tool, okay? And it's worth its weight in gold. I just read an email from a guy. He's like, if you want to save your fingernails, get this tool. It worked like a breeze. So this one here makes it very easy to remove your striker, your back plate, to get your striker out of your 365. Another area is if you want to change out your striker spring. I do have increased 20% striker springs for the 365 for the people that have light strikes. So a lot of people have bought those, and every single instance that they bought them so far, thank God, let me knock on wood, it's taken care of their light strike problem. So to get those two-piece design retainers out, it's a one-piece design now, and I don't know which one's more difficult. I think getting the one-piece design apart is more difficult, but putting together the two-piece design is more difficult. So irrelevant. We have the striker spring tool, and this, like I said, it works on, or like it says, it works on the 365 and the 320 strikers. Okay, so you basically put your striker in here, use this other piece to go through the spring, collapse it down. It kind of like ratchets, and it holds it there, so you can undo your retainers, change out your spring, put your retainers back on, unhook it, and you're good to go. It's simple. So that job kind of requires three different sets or three hands. You can do it yourself, no problem, with the striker tool. And then the other one was just for if people want to remove the manual safety in the 320s, the M18s, M17s. A lot of these come with the manual safety. You got to remove the manual safety before you can do really anything else on the FCU. So this little kit here makes removing the manual safety a breeze for those. So other things, my deluxe kits, the pin alignment kit, stuff, the half punch for the 22X, the extractor pins. We've got the back strap here for the 365. I am super happy with how those came out. If you want a little bit bigger of a grip, smaller of a grip, a little bit smaller medium, a little bit bigger medium, whatever the case may be, there's 4 different size back straps. Okay, I have available on sigguy.com as well. So I just love doing this stuff. I love being able to come up with this stuff. We have the 365 multi-function tool, which is the safety cutout notch tool, the jig for your 365s. There is one in the works for the 320, and people they email me this daily, and I've got offers, ridiculous offers. People want to pay so much money to for one of these to finalize it, but I just can't produce a product that's not gonna. I mean, if you're gonna use it, it might break the first time you use it. That's not a good deal. So I got to make sure that as long as it's used correctly, it will hold up for somewhat of a extended period of time. And that one is just the way everything is. It's just so thin. You really can't beef it up because then nothing fits in here. The slide won't go on. The barrel won't go in. The way it's printed with the direction of the layers, you can't print it like this. So they would be positioned horizontally instead of vertically, which would increase strength. It's a challenge. So there's other stuff that were more important to me. So that's why we're doing these items here. So some of them have shipped out already. The person that was disabled that contacted me, I sent her out a bunch of these kits to see if that makes disassembling or reassembling her firearm much easier. She actually just emailed me today and said she received it, so she'll give it a test and see how it goes. And this has been on the website for a couple days after that, and some people have bought it. But these are available now. I got plenty of them, and we can make plenty more, so that's not an issue. I do appreciate everybody's support for the website and the videos and the comments and everything. I really do. If you like this type of content, there'll be a subscribe button right down here in the corner. If you could subscribe to the channel, I'd greatly appreciate it. As always, thank you for watching, and have a great day.